श्रीमद्वेंकटनाथार्यं वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये माता पिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसार कुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकाल यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् वन्दे वृन्दावनचरं वल्लवी जनवल्लभं जयन्ती सम्भवं धाम वैजयन्ती विभूषणं वाचं निजाङ्करसिकां प्रसमीक्षमाणः वक्त्रारविन्दविनिवेशितपाञ्चजन्यः वर्णत्रिकोणरुचिरे वरपुण्डरीके वद्धासनो जयति वल्लभ चक्रवर्ती. Under the grace of Sri Ahobilamat Mysuru, I have had the fortune and delight of addressing you all on select shlokas of the preliminary sargas of Vedanta Deshika's beautiful magnum opus in poetic scale, which is Yadavabhyudayam. This mammoth poem in Sanskritam, which has Lord Krishna as its protagonist, as its lead, has the unique feature of having been commented upon by yet another Advaitic scholar called Appaya Dikshita. So in Sarga 1 and Sarga 2, we discussed about the greatness of Yaduvamsham, beginning with Chandra, Buddha, Pururavas, Yayati, Yadu, and so on. We spoke a little about Vasudeva's greatness, Anakadundubhi's greatness. Then we spoke about the marriage between Devaki and Vasudeva, her pregnancy, the feelings of experienced by Devaki while she was carrying her 8th fetus, who is Paramatma himself. As we discussed, we also spoke about Krishna's birth, which was welcomed by the progenitor of this dynasty, who is Moon. While we speak about Krishna, of course, we know in Ramavataram about Valmiki himself mentioning that 5 grahas were at the exalted state. Swachcha samstheshu panchasu, nakshatre aditi daivatye swachcha samstheshu panchasu. Then he talks about the lagnam in which each of these grahas are. Now, Vedanta Deshika follows Valmiki in that aspect and gives a very, very detailed account of Krishna's Jatakam. So, horoscope. In the north, they would call it Kundli. I will just read out that particular verse, though I will not be discussing that in detail because you need very, very high standards of knowledge in astrology. I have very minimal knowledge. Whatever I have is from my maternal grandfather, who besides being a full-time bank employee was an excellent astrologer. So whatever little I know is because of him, but I am not an expert. So I will not be able to give a lot of guidance on what this is, but nevertheless, I will read out the verse. अथ सितरुचि लग्ने सिद्ध पंचग्रहोच्चे व्यजन नयन दनघानां वैजयन्त्यां जयन्त्यां निखिल भुवन पद्म क्लेश निद्रानुपत्यै दिनकरमनपायं देवकी पूर्वसन्ध्या. अथ चंद्रोदयानंतरम, that is after Chandrodaya, Anaghanam, Agha Virodhinam, the one who is able to take away the papams committed, Punya Divasanam, Vaijayantyam Patakayam, Sreshta Bhutayam iti Yavat, Jayantyam. Now he tells what is Jayanti. Rohini Sahita Shravanamasa Krishnashtamyam. So it must be Shravana Masam. It must be the month of Shravanam. Krishnashtami, it must be Krishna Paksham, Ashtami Tithi, Rohini Sahita, and it should be combined with Rohini Nakshatram. Siddham, Sampannam Panchanam Grahanam. So I spoke about 5 grahas in the exalted state in Rama's horoscope. Same is the case with Krishna, but the grahas are different. What does he say? Panchanam grahanam. Sashi, Kuja, Buddha, Guru, Shanaischaranam. Sashi, Sashi who's moon. Kuja, Angaraka, Mars. Buddha, Buddha is Buddha, the son of Chandra. Guru, who's Jupiter, Brihaspati. Shanaischaranam. Shanaishchara is Saturn. Uchcham, Tungasthanam, Yasmin iti tathoktam. Chandradinam Uchchasthanani, Vrishabha, Makara, Kanya, Karkata, Tulakhyani. So the 5 grahas are exalted in these particular lagnas. What are they? Vrishabham. Vrishabham is for Sashi. So moon is exalted in Vrishabha lagna. Kuja, whose Angaraka, is exalted in Makara lagna. Buddha, who's exalted in Kanya lagna. Guru is exalted in Karkata lagna. And Shanaishchara is exalted in Tula lagna. Taduktam Brihajjatake. So there is a book called Brihajjatakam which says Aja Vrishabha Mrigankana Kulira Jasha Vishajau Cha Divakaradi Tungaha iti. Shravanamase Ravihe Sada Tat Sannikristasya Shukrasya Cha Meshaminayoho Swochayor Avasthana Sambhavat Parisesha Chandradinam Panchanam Uchchasthana Sthiti Vivakshater Vasiyate Panchoche Lokanayakaha iti Jataka Shastra Vidastat Phalamahu Sitaruchina Chandrena Yukte Lagne Vrishabhalagne Madhyama Padalopi Samasaha Devatyeva Purvasandhya Pratasandhya Nikhilani Bhuvanyeva Padmani Tesham Kleshayeva Nidra Mukuli Bhavaha Tasya Apanutyai Nirasaya Anapayam Dinakaram Astamya Rahita Adityamiti Sri Krishne Tathadhyavasayaha Vyajanat Pradurbhavayati Smertyartha. So he talks about the 5 grahas which are in exalted state. So generally Jataka Shastram tells Panchoche Lokanayakaha. So if 1 graha is in the exalted state, on a lighter vein I'm saying you could become a counselor. 2 lagnas, maybe you'll become an MLA. 3 MLA, MP, maybe 4 Modi, 5 Krishna. So Panchauche Lokanayakaha, the one who will be a world leader, has to necessarily have these 5 lagnas because you're covering a huge mass of population. So your Jatakam has to help you rise above them. So if 5 grahas are in the Uchchasthanam, that's why we call Krishnam Mande Jagadgurum, Jagadacharyaha, Jagadguru. So this is the astrological position of Krishna's Jatakam. Now we need to get into, well, Krishna was born, what all happened. In the 3rd Sarga, Vedanta Deshika describes Nanduturapsaraso divinanditah kimapi gitamaya gita kinnaraihi shruti sukhaihi samatoshayata swanair Amaradundubhiranaka dundubhim. So while the celestials got to know that Krishna, Paramatma, who is now housed in Devaki's Garbham, is now born as Krishna, they immediately started playing the Vadyam of Anaka and Dundubhi to the one who is born to Anaka Dundubhi. So this is a wordplay that Vedanta Deshika engages in. Later he says, Anativela Samirana Choditaihi Sashi Shishirashikarashi Bhatirambaraihi Jaladhairabhito Dividadhvane Suragajairi Vasuchita Mangalaihi. So he tells that the rain-bearing clouds which were coming, because when Rama was born, it was scorching hot. Now when the rain-bearing clouds came, you know, even before the rain comes, you will sense little droplets, cool droplets that come. And that too, when there is air blowing and taking away those tiny droplets and falls on your face, it feels as if some cold waters were sprinkled on a parched ground. And look at the happiness which the ground would exhibit. Look at the happiness which a face would exhibit. That was the feeling when Krishna was born and how nature answered to it. So he also says, Jaladhair abhito dividadhvane suragajairiva suchita mangalaihi. Suragajaihi. So it felt as if the dark water, rain-bearing clouds which were coming especially in the mid of the night, they looked like large elephants, and especially those cardinal elephants which protect us from all directions. They are called Ashtadiggajaha. So he mentions that these dark rain-bearing clouds represented elephants. See, this is an idea which I'm sure Vedanta Deshika would have been inspired from Meghadutam of Kalidasa, because in Kalidasa's Meghadutam, he sends, the Yaksha sends a dark rain-bearing cloud that moves in a certain direction as the love messenger to his beloved who is living in another place. So this is how poets collaborate. Now there's another verse. Vauratho marutastridashanga vadana saurabhasara bhrita shubhaha mudita nirjara mukta suradruma prasava vrishti madura dravameduraha. So there was immense smell and wind, gandhavaha. So the wind was able to carry the fragrance of the flowers, because the flowers generally blossom with the sunrise. But here there were some flowers which generally blossom even in the night, like Nilotpalam, and the air was carrying the fragrance of those flowers. So the tiny droplets from the rain-bearing clouds, the music that emanated from Anakadundubi, Vadhyam from the celestials on the other side, the smell that came. You can imagine how intoxicating in a positive way the atmosphere would have been. So he goes on in the next shloka, very, very interesting shloka. He tells, Madhuriporavatara mahotsave mumudire madhura puradevataha yadabhigantari bhakta janevaram dadushurasesha matindrata chetasaha. So looking at the festive atmosphere around, the gods, some call them the demigods, let's call them Devata. Let us give them respect. All the Devatas you must have heard in villages, be it in the north of India and especially in the south of India, you have in Tamil the word used is Kaval Devam. Those are deities which protect your territory. So generally it could be a Mariamman. We call her Mariamman in Tamil Nadu, Anniyamma, Mariamma in Telugu Desham, and in Karnataka. We call her Bhagavati in Kerala. In the north, we call her by various names: Ambika, Chandika, Chamundi, Bhadra. These are all names given for Parvati, who comes as a local deity and protects that particular area. So those deities, or it could be also the mustached man with a sword. In the Tamil tradition, we call him Karuppanna Sami. So I'm sure there'll be Grama Devatas in the south of India, North India as well. So all these Devatas who had been offered various prayers for all these years were waiting for a good moment to bestow their boons upon their devotees. The moment they they sensed that Paramatma was born in Madura, the deities in Madura, they started bestowing boons like nobody else, like there was no tomorrow on their devotees. So he says, Asesha Varam, whatever they had asked, the remaining boons also were granted. Next, a very interesting shloka again. Avadadhana dhiyo munayastada yadanadhitamathitavadanjasa nigamajatamaseshamavekshya tanniravishatniva muktamayim dasham. So, now we must have note, this is a very interesting thing. So what he says is the rishis who had been trained in Vedic learning, be it Rig Vedam, Yajur Vedam, Atharvana Vedam, or Sama Vedam, whichever Vedam they belong to. Remember, those of you who are listening from the north of India may be used to these words, surnames like Trivedi, Dvivedi, Chaturvedi. You never say Ekavedi, because when you're a Dvivedi, you have to be a Ekavedi. You have to master two Vedas, means you would have mastered one to become two. Trivedi, Chaturvedi. Now we need to understand why does this come into picture, because traditionally our society was grouped into bunches. So we had a Yajur Vedam, we had a Sama Vedam, we had an Atharvana Vedam. Now, a person who belongs to Yajur Vedam will not have the ability to learn Sama Vedam. When I say ability, is not allowed to, because you have been brought into this house. You learn this particular Veda well, practice it and teach, because each Veda in itself is so huge. So you have a Yajur Veda which is divided into Shukla and Krishna, very huge. Shatapatha Brahmanam forms an integral part of Shukla Yajur Vedam. We have Taittiriya Samhita, which is so huge. Taittiriya Brahmanam, Taittiriya Upanishad, all that comes under Yajur Vedam, Krishna Yajur Vedam. So you need to really master each of the Vedas to even teach people. Then you go to the next Veda. But what would rarely, generally happen is a person who belongs to one Veda, it will take a lifetime for him to know the nuances of that particular Veda. So it is for this reason. For example, you have Shatarudriyam. It's called Sri Rudram very commonly, a very, very esoteric hymn in the Yajur Vedam. Its mantras in bits and pieces is found in other Vedams. But when you take in the entirety, what we recite today is from Krishna Yajur Vedam. Now, Appaya Dikshita, the commentator, makes a very interesting note in his other work. He says that I am a great devotee of Shiva. And Sri Rudram extols Shiva to such greatness. But I am not able to do it because I'm a Samavedi. I'm so unfortunate that I was not being able to born into Yajur Veda community. I've been born into Samaveda because I'm missing Shatarudriyam. So learning one Veda itself was such a task. Now, but every person, aspiring learner, will have this zeal, enthusiasm in him to learn the other Vedas as well, the other sections of Vedas as well. So here Vedanta Deshika states, Avadadhana dhiyo munayastada yadanadhitam adhitavadanjasa. So while Krishna was born, the birthday gift to all the learned yogic people in the vicinity was, whatever they had not learned or whatever they wished to learn but couldn't learn, the knowledge of all the remaining portions was instilled in their minds as a birthday gift from Krishna, it seems. So Nigamajatam asesham avekshya tannira vishanniva muktamayim dasham is what they state. Next, there's a beautiful verse. Prasadanam sharadagama sambhavam nabhasimasi nadibhirupa upadade mahita yoga vidamatibihi samam shrutibhir apyanulaplavanitibihi. So it seemed so beautiful that rivers that were flowing. Let's take Yamuna, for example. It was raining cats and dogs outside. So it seemed to them as if it was autumn season because the river waters were so clear. Because Krishna's birth was itself to clear all the muddle, to restore supremacy of Vedas. To restore supremacy, you have to clear anything that's muddle. So here, when Krishna was born, the river waters were so clear, tells Vedanta Deshika. As he continues, he says, Nikhila Chetana Manasa Nisrutah Kalushatah Samudepya Kilakshanat Vivishurambha Iva Swayamapagah Jalanidheriva Bhojapatir Manaha. Everything was clear, but this was the period when Kamsa started for the first time feeling a lot of fear that was tormenting him. Generally, you say in the Indian dramatic sense that there's a lot of butterflies flying in my stomach, if in a positive sense, or you would say that I feel a lot of burden in my stomach, which literally means there was a lot of fear in the mind and the heart of Kamsa, Bhojapati. So later, there's another shloka. Charamatas diva devaki patiramuchyata shinkalata sthirat nikhila bandha nivartaka sannidho vigalanam nigalasya kimadbhutam. So while Krishna was born to Devaki and Vasudeva, it seems that the fetters, the iron shackles that the hands and legs were tied to, they all started relieving by themselves. So why did this happen? How could this happen? To that, Vedanta Deshika states, the one who is now born has the ability to eradicate or take away the sins committed in the past so beautifully and is able to unshatter us. What is so surprising if he is able to take the iron shackles off? The one who is able to take the karma bandhanam off is born, and while he is born, if the iron shackles are off, what is so surprising? Nigalasya kim adbhutam. What is so surprising? He asks. And he also describes Devaki as golden Meru. Now that she is delivered, she looks like a Meru Parvatam, golden hued, with Krishna on her lap, who looks like a blue sapphire. So she says it's like a blue sapphire stone atop the Meru Parvatam. These are all descriptions, so beautiful descriptions. Next, he says, Vigrita Shankara Rathanga Gadambujaha Shabalita Shubhaya Vanamalaya Piturasuta Mudam Pruthukastada Jaladidimbani Bhojanani Dhritaha. So Krishna was born. What all was he born with? He was born with Shankam, Chakram, Gada, Khadgam, and Sharangam, the bow and the quiver of arrows. So does that ring bells in our minds? Yes. In Srimad Bhagavatam 2, Shukabrimam describes Tamadbhutam Balakamambujekshanam Chaturbhujam Shanka Gadharyudharyudam. So he tells all the Ayudhas. In fact, in Vishnu Sahasranama, the last few names describe him as the one who holds all these weapons. Devaki Nandana Srishta Kshitishaha Papanashanaha Shankabhrin Nandaki Chakri Sharngadhanva Gadadharaha. So these are the names given to the Lord based on his weapons. So here Vedanta Deshika says Vigrita Shankara Rathanga Gadambujaha Shabalita Shubhaya Vanamalaya. He was born with a Vanamala as well, the Lord. Then looking at this cosmic form so beautifully standing in front of their eyes as a little child with so many weapons, Vasudeva, the father, couldn't withstand. He immediately surrendered, it seems. Pranipatami bhavantyam ananyadhira khila karanam ashrutataranam anugamada nidam prathamagira kimapi yat padamekamadhiyate. So he said, I prostrated the feet of the lotus feet of this little child and I performed Sharanagati. Look at this. A child is born. Child falls at the feet of the father. Everything happens topsy-turvy in Krishna Avataram. The father does Sharanagati at the feet of the Lord, which is very, very surprising because the way the Lord looked was so inviting for any devotee to do Sharanagati. Then the Lord opened his mouth and said, Iyamamartya pitustava gehini divishadam janani mamachanaga abhimatam yuvayor navagraham samaya bhavamayaiva samarthyate. Is it right, my father, for you to prostrate in front of me? Remember that you were also a great person in your previous birth. You were Kashyapa and Devaki was Aditi. So I was your son even then. I will remember your previous birth. I am your son now. A father should never prostrate before his children. Please do not offer your namaskarams, though you may call me Paramatma. In this Janma, I am your father, the Lord says. Then he continues. Yadi bibheshi bajami manushyata matha chamam nayananda griham kshanad duhitaram cha samanayatasyam gata bhayo bhavaduragate mayi. Now the Lord tells, if you are worried for my safety or for your safety, do not worry. I will now assume a human form. So what form was he till now? He was in his cosmic form. When I say cosmic, not the large form, not the Vishwarupam, but he showed his Divya Mangala Vigraham with his blue-hued body, with so many hands, with ayudams, with all the necessary ornaments. He looked like a miniature form, like how he looked in Vaikuntha. That is when he tells his father, see, I will take a normal human form. I will be like any other child, because if that is what is going to give relief to my parents, I will do that. Yadi bibheshi bajami. Are you afraid of me? Do not worry. Chamam naya nandagriham kshanat. I will appear like how I will appear in Nandagopala's house from now. Duhitaram cha samanayatasyam gatabhayo bhavaduragate mayi. There, if you go to Nandagopala's house, a girl child would be born of them. Please take that girl child here and bring her, and please keep me there. So we discussed about Goddess Parvati being treated as Lord's sister, and she must have been born. Vara Guru Guha Janani Madashamani Mahishasuramani Madagamani Mangala Vara Pradayini Sarasija Nabhasodari Shankari Pahi Man Sarasija Nabhasodari Bimbadari Chit Pradibhyambadari बिंदुनादव शंकरी शंकरी अंबुजारमण सोदरी आदरी अंबरी कादंबरी नीलांबरी नीलायजाक्षी करुणा कटाक्षी अखिल लोक साक्षी कटाक्षी. So here, as he commands his father, the father is picking him up. Next, in the next shloka, he tells, Atha nishamna niyogam abhanguram madhujito madhuraksharamantharam hitamidam pratipadyatamadade gurutaram kripaya laghutam gatam. So, looking at the child with great compassion. Now, when the child took a human form, the father had a great affection towards the child. Now, going further, he says, Nigama Nishwasitam Swasutasya Tat. So, Father Vasudeva was able to hear the breathing in and breathing out of the child. This is how we do. This is how we have seen most people do. But here, when the child was doing it, the father got close and he could check that there was a recitation of Vedas that was happening in the background, because in our culture, civilization, we believe that Vedas are nothing but the Lord's vital air, which is the breathing in and breathing out air. So the air is nothing but Shabda Shastram, and that is how Vedas have been coded into it. Next, he continues. Vijaghate sahasaiva kavatika vrajamatha vrajato yadubhubhritaha upakalpa asesharata rakshaka saranimari grihadevata. So he was telling that the Grihadevata, that is the deities who protect the territory. I was talking about Karupannasamy, generally the deity who's regarded in a lot of the villages with a sword, with a mustache. Those statues, while Krishna was born, and now while Krishna was being carried by Vasudeva from the jail premises to cross the Yamuna waters, he did not know which was the way. So it seems that the sword held by the Grihadevata, they started pointing like direction arrows to say this is the way out. So that's how beautiful he continues. And then he says, another beautiful description. Shrutimayo vihagav paritav prabhum. Now Vasudeva is carrying the child out. So the waters of Yamuna were gushing. Now he had to first of all get light because it was pouring. And so there's not even chance of the moonlight falling. So it was pitch dark, flowing waters, thick waters. How will Vasudeva cross this place? So that is when he sensed, while he was carrying Krishna on his head, because he had to cross the Yamuna waters, not a drop of water fell on either the child nor the father, that is Vasudeva. He looked up, he saw 1,000 hooded Adisesha, who was the umbrella. So Adisesha was the umbrella, and what was the light? There were two red gem-like eyes in each of the hoods of the snakes. It's 1,000 hooded snake. 2,000 red gem-like eyes were providing the light for Vasudeva. It was like a red carpet that was strewn before Vasudeva, because it was a red carpet welcome for the prince, for the king of this world, Dwarakadish. So he goes, and all the rain waters must have ideally fallen on the hoods of the snake, which is Adisesha. But Adisesha was startled and surprised. He did not have one drop of water on him. He looked to the top. Who's protecting him? It was Garuda who was flying. So Shrutimayo vihagav paritav prabhum vyacharada ashuvidhuta nishacharaha anujagama chabudhara pannagasputamana mani deepa ganodvaha. He says, next, he continues. In the next shloka, I'm skipping a few of the shlokas because it is a 2600 long poem and I'm covering only 3 sargas. So I'm trying to cover at least 60 to 70 shlokas in the last 2 classes I've covered. Put together with today, I'm trying to cover. Let's see. Now, Ajani Paschimato Bhrishamunnata Ravisuta Purata Sthalaseshita Adhiruroha Padam Kimasauhare Pratiyayau Yadiva Pitaram Girim. So Yamuna, the waters of Yamuna, Kalindi, had to give way for for Vasudeva to take the child, to take Krishna across. Now she was in full speed, and especially you know how river water swell when it's torrential rainfall. But surprisingly, which the world has never seen, it's even tough to imagine if something unscientific like this could happen. Because in science, simple science, we've learned that water always flows from higher level to lower level, unless and until you have got some artificial means to pull it from lower level to higher level. Here, the waters of Yamuna naturally, which were flowing from the mountain Kalinda, which is her father, started flowing back towards Kalinda, it seems, because she wanted to do service to the Lord and give way to Krishna. So this is how he continues. And the next shloka he tells, Upagate Vasudeva Sutantikam Narakavairini Nanda Kutumbini Arani Sambhava Pavaka Sangamat Abhajata Dvara Vedirivashriyam. So, while Krishna was being brought by Vasudeva to Gokulam, even without the child even touching the doorstep, Nanda Gopala's face shone as resplendent and as radiant as a sacrificial altar, like a Yajna Vedika. So that was the effect of Krishna's birth. And Yashoda was equally resplendent. Now he laid his boy child there, took the girl child and brought her. And as Kamsa heard the girl child cry, he came to the cell, the jail, and wanted to kill her. By the time he could take her and push her to the rock where he had been killing all these children, there is this shloka. Udapatadiva mugraghanaswana yuvati rupa yugatya yasharvari asuraghati bhirashta bhira yudhe lagu bishashchapala bhirivashruta. So he tells that the girl child who went furiously into the sky with 8 hands, Amba, Shambhavi, Chandramauli Ravala, Aparna, Uma, Parvati, Kali, Haimavati, Shivadrinayani, Katyayani, Bhairavi, Savitri, Navayauvana, Shubhakari, Samrajya Lakshmi Prada, Chidrupi, Paradevata, Bhagavati, Sri Raja Rajeshwari, tells one shloka. On the other hand, we have the Dhyana shloka for Lalita Sahasranamam, which has been recited in Brahmanda Puranam. Sindhuraruna Vigraham, Trinayana, Manikamauli, Spurattara, Naika Shekharam, Smitamuki, Mapita Vakshoruham, Panibhyam, Manipurna Ratna Chashakam, Raktotpalam Bibhratim, Saumyam, Ratna Ghatastarkta Charanam, Dhyayet Param Ambikam, Aruna, Tarunam, Tarangitakshim, Dita Pashankusha Pushpabana Chapa, Manimadi Bhiravrata Mayukai, Rahamityeva, Vibhavaye Bhavani, Dhyayet Padmasanastham, Vikasita Vadanam, Padmapatrayatakshim, Hemabham Pitavastram Kara Kalilalasat Hema Padmavarangim Sarvalankara Yuktam Satatam Abhayatam Bhaktanamram Bhavanim Srividyam Shantamurtim Sakala Suranutam Sarvasampat Pradatrim Sakunkuma Vilepanam Anikachumbikasturikam Samanta Hasitekshanam Sacharachapa Pashankusham Asesha Janamohini Marunamalya Bhushambaram Japa Kusuma Bhasuram Japavidau Smaretam Bikam. That Ambika went to the sky and said, "Hey you fool, Mudha! The one who has come born to vanquish you has safely been born in Gokulam." See, in Shukabrahmam's Bhagavatam, she doesn't tell the whereabouts. But here, Vedanta Deshika states, what is the fear of Kamsa, who's just like a firefly who flies in the blazing fire of Paramatma? So she went and told, it seems, that he's already born. Ahamasesha sura sura mohini yavanika madukaita bhamardinaha prabala shumbha nishudane pranihita hatayatava kimmaya. So she tells that the one who is born to kill you is already born. So then Vedanta Deshika continues. He tells, Anagavat samana kula dhenukam prachura dugdhamachora bhayodbhavam Brajamanaamaya Vishwajanam Vibhukrita Yugaspada Kalpama Kalpayat. So the people of Braja Bhumi, that is Gokulam, while they were sleeping, even during their sleep, they started getting good dreams. They were all very pleased, suddenly very blissful. The aura of the Lord has brought so much of effect. So it's went so much that the calves which were sick were now in good health. The mother cow started secreting milk without even the feeding their calves. They started just lactating. And then he tells Brajam Prachura Dugdha Chora Bhayodbhavam. So there was no fear of robbers, because you rob only when you don't have something what others have. So here everybody had everything. So the wealth was in abundance and prosperity was at its zenith. So that kind of a feeling people had, and they were free from diseases. That is what we all need at this current point in time. So then finally they say, Putram prasuya tapasa purusham puranam kalam chiram vidhivashat krita viprakarshau Shanka kalankita dhiyavapidam patitau tadvaibhava smarana shantaruru urujava bhutam. So everything was fine. On the other hand, look at the state of Devaki and Vasudeva with so much of pain after losing 6 children. The 7th one was aborted. The 8th one she carried. The child was taken away immediately. She had everything what other women couldn't even dream, because Paramatma is born from her as a child. But something which was very unfortunate was that she couldn't even feed her child, and that was the biggest anxiety on one side. On the other side, you have Yashoda and Nandagopala, who had no association with the Lord in the sense in Krishnavataram, but now she has the fortune of nurturing the child. All the Krishna Leela is going to be witnessed by Yashoda. See, that's what life is all about. So one person works, the other person relishes it, and later the child is going to leave Yashoda. So Krishnavataram is full of beauty, and it has a huge moral for us. That generally they would speak about Parijata Vriksham. They would say that how much ever you nurture it, you're going to plant it, the flowers are going to fall on the side of your neighbor. To just say that it's okay that we work and somebody else also partakes the fruit of our work, because giving and taking is what our civilization is all about. Had Vyasa and Valmiki thought about keeping Mahabharatam and Ramayanam to themselves and never passed it on to manuscripts, Sishyas and generations, we wouldn't be where we are. We are recipients of the beauty of Ramayana and Mahabharata because of the magnanimity of Valmiki and Vyasa. The same is that of Vasudeva and Devaki, who were magnanimous enough to give away Krishna for a period of time to Yashoda and Nandagopala. So here Vedanta Deshika has beautifully concluded the Sarga 3. See, there are many, many Sargas. I don't know when we are going to meet next. Hopefully soon we'll have to cover the beauty of Vedanta Deshika's beautiful work on Yadavabhyudayam, the biography of Krishna. Namaskaram, Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashalini Srimate Venkateshaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha.